Hi. I know you don't know me, but I'm just a regular guy. My name is James Palmer, and I'd like to talk to you about the Minnesota riots and George Floyd. Just, I know that there's a whole lot of people that are angry, and that there are nationwide protests and riots. And why? I know that you want to be heard and that you want justice. Okay. You have been heard. All of the officers involved were fired, and one of the officers, Derek Chauvin, is arrested and charged so far. And a lot of people are claiming racism about this particular situation that George was killed and that the officer kneeling on his neck had killed him, and that it was due to racism. What you don't know is that of the 4 officers, not all of the officers involved were white. And that additional video shows that all 4 of the officers that kneeled on him that day but only that Derek Chauvin had kneeled on his neck. But as we know, the mainstream media and Black Lives Matter love to work all of us up into a frenzy over this. But we don't know that racism is involved over this. But we do know that we need to have an investigation to find all the facts and find out if there is, both in the state and in federal. Currently, there is protesting going on in Washington, D.C., protesting Donald Trump over this as well. Why? What has he done wrong over this? He's the one who immediately instigated an FBI investigation. He was willing to help out the governor if things got out of hand if needed. His actions are the one during the coronavirus that have been doing well. He hasn't been perfect, but he's been doing okay. But some of the governors have been tying his hands about restarting the country. But he's been trying to do the best he can. But the governors have been tying his hands, and the mainstream media have been smearing him up one side and down the other. But what can he do about that? Just when he tries to reopen the country, the governors say he doesn't have the ability to do that, and the mainstream media try and do whatever they can to make him look like he's a tyrant on one side and say that he has to do things up the other way. Just what more can he do to help you? But as to what this situation is, he's actually talked to George Floyd's family personally. He started the investigation. He's also worked hard to actually help people of color directly. He's helped religious people and religious groups directly as well, of all peaceful religions that he can. And as for the protests and rioting, why loot? Why burn? Does it do any good to loot or destroy Target or other big businesses? They've got insurance and video cameras and whatnot to cover their losses, and all it does is get all their employees out of jobs. And what does it show or prove to do that kind of thing? And private businesses were destroyed, and all it does is hurt them. A firefighter had his dream business destroyed before it could even open by rioters. People tried to steal the safe while news reporters were reporting on it live. A firefighter just cried. A Minnesota firefighter was sitting there crying about having his business destroyed before he could even get it to open, because it was just before he was just about to open when the coronavirus hit. And then looters came in and wrecked the place. He was in there getting things cleaned up, had people there helping him, and the news crew was there, and people came in to try and steal the safe. And then while they had left, people came back and burned the whole place to the ground. And also, and while this looting and burning is going on, low-income housing has been destroyed as well. Why? You're only hurting yourselves when you do this. Private businesses and low-income housing, you're only hurting yourselves when you do this. And more, all it does is distract and destroy the message you're trying to get out about George. If you want justice, please do it peacefully. We need to calm down. We need to talk to each other. We need to be willing to work and help each other once again and get our country back on track and rebuild it. We need to reopen it. Please. I know we've had a hard time recently. All of us have had a hard time dealing with the coronavirus and then this lockdown. And then with the possible reopening, then this powder keg that kicked everything off the big loud kaboom. We really didn't need that. Nobody did. Least of all George. My heart goes out to his family and to all of those who have lost their homes, businesses, and belongings during this time. We need to work together and now to stop this madness and let the healing start. Please.